Hi guys, how are you all doing? So this is the energy update for May. So we have a lot of energy coming in the month of May. It's going to be a really big month. So it's early morning here. So I'm just sitting outside with a cup of coffee and I figured, this would be the perfect time to do my energy update with all of you. So we have so much energy coming in. This is Bella. We have so much energy coming in May, and it's going to be a really big month. So some of the main kind of words that I've been getting for May is transmutation, actualization, as well as integration. So May is going to be coming in with a lot of big energy right off the bat, and I really can feel this huge shift in the energy already, just even being May 1st today. So we had our solar eclipse in Taurus yesterday, and that energy has peaked and is going to continue to be at its peak until about May 4th or 5th. So this energy is all about the physical. It can kind of uproot a lot of our physical. So we are going to see big changes when it comes to maybe your housing, where you're living, where you're going to be if you're moving, maybe travel, as well as a lot of financial changes. So this is going to be a really big time. And then as this kind of comes to a close in its peak, this energy is going to stay with us for a full 6 months. But as the peak of it kind of begins to calm down a little bit, we go right into the 5-5 portal. And this 5-5 portal is like huge because it's not just the 5-5 portal, it's also, the kind of meeting ground for the exact center of the equinox as well as the solstice energy. So these are two huge portals that happen, and they're going to be kind of meeting because it's the exact middle ground between the two portals. So they're meeting in the middle on the 5th of May, and this is going to be creating a huge amount of energy for us. So we're going to be looking at bringing in a lot of abundance. We can do a lot of manifestation. This is also going to bring a lot of spiritual awakenings. And I'm actually hearing right now spiritual confidence. So if you're already on your spiritual journey, then this is going to be a really big time where we're going to be stepping in to our spiritual mission with more confidence and with more direction. So that's going to be a really big time. So we're really starting off that first week of May with so much energy already. And I'm really seeing too that they've kind of showed me my guides, because this is how I channel. Even right now, they're showing me like a portal, and we're coming through the portal and we're coming out the other end. And there's this expansion that's happening on the other end of this portal. So it's really like we're being like birthed, or we're moving down the birth canal is what they're saying. So we're moving down the birth canal, and we're going to feel this kind of squeeze and this pressure, through May until that expansion begins to happen at the end of May. So we're going to have a lot of expansion, a lot of rebirth that is going to be happening this month. And some of us, we're going to have that rebirth already beginning to happen in the earlier days of May. And then some of us are not going to see that full transformation and that full rebirth until closer to the end of May. I'm also kind of hearing, enough is enough. That's kind of where we're all getting to, where the energy has been really intense. We've been diving into our shadow. We've been integrating energy like left, right, and center. We have constant these days, like constant blasts of solar energy from the sun. So we have solar flare after solar flare. I think the other day there was like 12 or 13 solar flares in one day, which is like a very active day. And when the sun gives off these blasts of energy, it is bringing plasma and it's bringing light into our bodies. Right. And I'm seeing that it is really upgrading our DNA. It is upgrading our light bodies, and we are integrating our light bodies into our physical body. Right. So as this takes place, we, have kind of had all this redirection and all these different things that are happening. Right. And it's kind of getting to a point where we're going to have a moment this month. And I'm hearing where we're going to say enough is enough. And that we are going to make a physical decision, which will change everything. And it may not necessarily come about easily, but it's that, you know, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's with your job, whether it's with what you've been trying to manifest, that you're like, you know, enough is enough. I've been spinning my wheels. That's what I'm seeing. I'm spinning my wheels. And we're getting to a point where we're like, I'm done spinning and I'm ready to step in. Right? So enough is enough of this spinning, and I'm ready to step in and to step in with confidence. And that's when everything's going to change. And that's when that expansion is going to really take place for you. So we also have our lunar eclipse. I should have wrote this down. I think it's on the 14th and 15th of May. And this is going, and it's in Scorpio. So this is going to be a very emotional time. It's going to be an emotional driven energy. And it also too is going to have, again, a lot of that uprooting. So what I'm also seeing is that when we had that Jupiter and Neptune conjunction in April, this was like huge for the collective energy. We really shifted and jumped into a higher timeline collectively. So what is happening as we move into April is that energy is going to continue to carry with us. And I've maybe mentioned this in some of my posts, but they're asking me to bring it up again right now, that we have been working and manifesting, right? And we have been, you know, diving deep into our own personal shadow. We've been diving deep into, you know, what we are creating, because we are creator beings. That's our natural state of being. That is what we do. So as we are creating our reality every moment, every second, right, that we have created certain pillars to our reality that have been built in illusion, that have been built in fear, and that have been built in ego. So these pillars were built in an older energy, and this older energy is dying. This older energy, there isn't enough of it anymore to hold up that foundation. So that foundation has to crumble in order for you to rebuild your pillars. And this is really what I saw this conjunction being all about. And that's continuing, especially in the beginning part of May, where we're really breaking down any of our pillars and we're rebuilding them in a new place. We're rebuilding them in a new energy. And it's a new energy where there isn't any illusion, and where we are honoring our fears and our emotions as we rebuild our life so that we're creating from that place. So this is really what I'm seeing, especially for the beginning part of April, is like, that's the squeeze, right? That's part of that squeeze before we jump into our expansion and into our rebirth and into that full transformation. So we're doing a little bit more of that internal work and breaking down the illusions, breaking down the fear, breaking down any part of our foundation that has been laid in an old energy. And then we're rebuilding that foundation. And through this, that's part of, they're telling me, where that enough is enough comes from, is that it's more so that we're getting to a point where we can see our own illusions. We can see our own fears. We can see where those pillars have been built, maybe in ego, in separation, in control, you know, and we're just like, you know, I'm done with all of this. I'm going to rebuild this, and I'm doing it right this time, right? And there's no illusion to it. So you know exactly where you are, exactly who you are, and you're ready to build from that place. And that's where we're going to have that transition begin to take place, and that expansion begin to take place, where we're going to begin to receive more than we could ever imagine. And they're also saying too right now, yeah, I can hear like the snapping, right? That like things are going to happen quick, over the next month. So this isn't like in an older energy, things happen so slowly that this breakdown process could have taken years. This rebuilding process could have taken months. And then it would have taken us so long to actually be able to see the benefits of all of the work that we did. And that's not happening anymore. That's part of the reason like this new energy is vibrating so much higher, right? And things are happening so much faster. And that's part of the reason why, you know, and I'm hearing slow down, right? That we really have to slow down, because when the energy and when we're working with an energy that is vibrating at such a high level, that we have to be very centered, very grounded, and very slow and intentional, right? So we have to be very slow, very intentional, and we have to just take one step at a time as we're walking through this energy. Because if we have that same, you know, the old energy of I'm going to push and I'm going to create and I'm going to move forward type of an energy, that this is going to exhaust us. This is going to have us shut down. This is going to be too much, because you can't push and run when you're working with a high energy. So I'm really seeing that we're slowing everything down and things are going to happen faster. So this is such a beautiful time and such a beautiful energy to be working with. We can definitely expect they want me to continue to talk about that squeeze, right? So it literally is like you're being rebirthed. So a lot of things in the next month are going to continue to come up for you. Whether it is, let me just hear this, sorry. Yeah, a lot of things are going to continue to come up for you. They're saying anything built in the old energy has to go. So a lot of that is that we have to get very, very clear with ourselves. They're also saying that we're going to be bringing up a lot of your fear. I keep hearing the word fear. So we are dissolving our own internal fear as well as the collective fear. So fear is going to be a really, really big thing that's coming up to the surface through this month. So we're going to see this collectively. Yeah, we're going to see this collectively, where because that old energy is breaking down, it's going to stir up a lot of fear in all of us. So we have to, you know, not necessarily suppress the fear, right? So we don't want to say like, oh my God, fear is bad and I don't want to feel fear and that's not okay and it's an old energy and I have to suppress it and like pretend like I don't have it. They don't want us to do that, because we are living a human experience and we are evolving, and fear is an energy that, you know, we have been controlled and lived with for so long. So this fear has to come up to the surface and we have to feel it and, you know, work with it. So even just saying like, okay, but I'm afraid to be seen. I'm afraid to speak my truth. I'm afraid that, you know, I will lose this relationship. I'm afraid if, you know, that I won't have enough money. And honoring that fear, feeling that fear, and then moving through it anyways. So that's kind of, you know, what is going to be happening in the collective. I'm hearing that we're going to be pumped. That's literally what they're saying. We're going to be pumped with a lot of fear over this next month, whether it's, you know, there's going to be food shortages and this is going to happen in stock markets. And I'm hearing like all of these words right now, right? And it's like, we're pumped by the news with fear. So one thing we can do is, you know, disconnect. That's what I'm hearing, is like disconnect a little bit this month. So spend more time in nature. They actually wanted me to do this video outside. They've been wanting me to do all my videos outside these days, because, you know, we have to disconnecting from social media, disconnecting from things that don't make us feel good. If you sit and you watch the news and then you get all anxious and nervous and we have all this fear coming in, you know, we need to disconnect from some of that, because when we are in our present moment, right? When we are sitting in our own being and when we are sitting in our own present moment, there is no fear, right? We get fear of the future, right? Fear of what's to come, how things are going to, unfold. So what we need to be doing is we need to be bringing ourselves back, right? And staying very centered and very grounded in our present moment. So one way we can do this is by using witness consciousness, right? Or witness state, where they want us to disconnect. That's what I'm hearing, is disconnect. So when we're using our witness state, you can actually kind of disconnect from your experiences. So, I'm Rachel, and I'm going to disconnect slightly, and I'm going to observe Rachel being Rachel. I'm going to observe how she interacts in the world. I'm going to watch the fear get pumped at me from the news, and then I'm going to observe how I react to it, how I feel about it, right? And I'm going to observe, and then once we're in that observer state, then we can say, we're able to discern better. Yeah, we're able to discern better, so that we're able to discern, how does this energy feel when it comes at me, right? And I'm hearing like discernment is so important, because we are in like an informational age, right? Whether it's social media or, somebody giving an opinion, maybe it's even a friend, and they're telling you, well, you can't really do that, and that doesn't make any sense. And, and that might not be good for you. And what would people think of you if you did something like that? Right? If you really did step into your mission, you started teaching spirituality, like, I don't know about it. You have to take the energy that's coming at you, and you need to become the witness of it. And you need to discern, how does that make me feel? Does it make me feel small? Does it make me feel, disempowered? Because we want to be empowering ourselves, right? That's like something that's very important, especially when we're talking about building spiritual confidence, right? And we're talking about that empowerment, right? We want to be empowered. We want to be the creator being that you are. And that's the thing that, we've discovered so much. So many of you that are here with me right now have already activated. You already remember who you are, right? You already know that you are a multidimensional divine being, who is a creator, who is incarnated in physical form to have an experience in physical form. We know this. So now it is time to actually be it. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. It's time for us to be it, and to be it in confidence. So anything that is taking away from that, we want to make sure that we are becoming very, very aware of it. And we need to choose whether that is something that is serving us or not. So we want to be bringing in any energy that is serving our highest good, right? And removing energy that is not serving our highest good. So through May, this is going to be a really big theme, that we are going to be shown what is serving us and what is not serving us, right? And the best way to be able to discern within your own being what's resonating with you and what is serving you is to become the witness of yourself. So that is something, and really a lot of this too is that self-mastery. So when we have an experience in front of us and we become reactive to that experience, then we're very much living in that older energy where we are, something happens, we react, and then there's like a series of events that just kind of like spirals out of control and unfolds, right? And you're not really in control of how it's unfolding. And it's not about control, maybe isn't a good word. But we have created, it's not even control. It's that we've created this series of events, right? And we want to stop almost creating the loop that is keeping you stuck in an old energy, or, becoming aware of the loop that is keeping you stuck where you are. Right? So we want to break down those illusions and become the witness of our experience without judgment, because that's a very important piece. We're not judging ourselves as we go through this. Like, I feel fear, all the time. Sometimes I do react to situations and it unfolds and I'm kind of like, whoa, how did I get to this point? right? And then being the observer of, well, what happened and what did I say and how did that unfold? And then this person reacted because I reacted, and then this series of event unfolded, right? So that next time when I'm faced with that same event, I can become conscious of it. I can immediately say, hey, I recognize this. Do I want it to continue to unfold down that path, or do I want to stop it here and, treat this situation differently and see what outcome comes out of it? So we're really stepping into, less of a reactive state and more of a response state. So we are beginning to respond to our experience. We're beginning to respond to our outer reality versus reacting to it. So that's going to be, something that you can do over this month to help you navigate this, because we're going to have a lot of shifts that are beginning to happen in our physical. So I'm also hearing that this is a good thing. So what I'm seeing now is that this energy has to manifest into the physical. This energy has to come forward into the physical. So right now, a lot of us have been doing the work, and a lot of us starseeds and light workers, we have been transmuting a lot of this older energy, right? And we've been doing it very quickly and very good. So that's what they're saying. They're like, tell them that they're amazing and that we're so proud of them, and that all of you are doing such a good job, right? That now we're actually going to see that anchor into the physical. So we're going to see new birth. That's what new birth into the physical in the new energy. So what I'm kind of seeing is like these little sparks of light that are all around the world, all around the globe. And we have anchored so much that there's going to start to be a new way of doing things is starting to emerge. So it's like I'm hearing union, a new union, right? That's emerging in a new energy. There's going to be a new financial system that's emerging in a new energy, a new education system that's emerging in a new energy. And these little sparks are happening all over the globe right now. So we are going to begin to see this new energy, this 5D energy, and this new earth actually physically birthing itself. And it's starting off like as little sprinkles. And these little sprinkles, I can see them all connecting and emerging together. So it's like the crystalline grid, right? The crystalline grid is beginning to fully take physical form. So we have really right now as a starseed say, I'm here and you're there and you're in this other, country, and this person's in another country. And we've all anchored so much light that we have activated the crystalline grid, and we're beginning to see it manifest into the physical. And we're going to begin to see this more and more and more. We're going to begin to see that in May happen. Some of us may still be unconscious of it and not necessarily really see the benefits of all the work that we've been doing, but it's there. They want you to know that it's there and it's happening, and that this is going to continue to manifest. This is going to continue to be like a wave. I'm seeing a wave that's just covering the whole globe, and this whole new energy and this whole new system is going to start to emerge. So we don't have to fear, right, the collapse of the old, because that's what's going to be pumped at us is like the collapse of the old. And that's okay. The old can fall away because the new is rebirthing at the same time. So you are never going to be left not taken care of. You are never going to be left in this, doomsday energy, because that's what, they want you to believe. That's what they want us to, that's the energy, that they want us to be living in, is this doomsday mentality. This doomsday mentality and that timeline and that energy is not going to manifest, right? There will be, maybe some hard times and some collapse that is happening. But as that is happening, we have these warriors and these amazing innovators, right, who are creating something new at the same time. So it doesn't matter, as this falls, this emerges, right? And we're seeing this happen. So you will always be able to have that lifeline to connect to and to ascend up with. So we need to remember that as we go through May. That's what I'm hearing. That's a very, very, this is probably, that was the most important part of this whole energy update, is that we have to remember that as the old falls, that the new is going to be emerging. So you will always be able, right? If you are attaching to this old, right, you're going to have a lot harder time. If you are able to rebuild those pillars in your life in that new energy, that you're just going to go up and expand with it. And that's the opportunity that we have, and they're even saying through May, June, July. So this is such an exciting time, so exciting. This is what we have all been waiting for. So we really want to disconnect this month, spend time in nature, spend time with the things that are actually important to you, spend time with the things that make you feel that expansion, that make you feel joy and play and all of these things, right? Because we want to stay in that energy. Spend time with your children, spend time playing outside, spend time dancing, spend time nourishing your body, nourishing your soul. So they're saying nourish your full multidimensional system. So honor and nourish your emotions, honor and nourish your physical body, honor and nourish your soul, honor and nourish your brain, right? And honor and nourish your energy. So we have to really look at ourselves as a multidimensional being. And we want to be saying, how does this energy affect me? Is this nourishing my energetic body? How is this food affecting me? Is it nourishing my physical body, right? How is this affecting me emotionally? And is it nourishing my emotional body, right? So we have to, and then also, how is this nourishing me spiritually? Is this making me feel more connected? Or is this taking away from my connection? So we really want to be stepping into that nourishment right now, and really, anchoring what is nourishing you. I'm so excited for May. This is just amazing, because I'm just seeing so much energy, and just a huge timeline jump is really what May is. It's this we've been operating in here in this lower vibrational energy, and a lot of us have been operating in this energy and transmuting this energy, right? Well, this other new energy is kind of growing. Well, now we have more of the new energy, so we can really, really start to step into that. We can really, really start to use this new energy for the benefit of ourselves and for others, right? Because as we step into this new energy, it really is all about service. It's about service to yourself, service to others, service to the planet, service to humanity. This is the energy that we are stepping into, because we're doing it out of love. We're doing it out of love for humanity. We're doing it out of love for our planet, and finding that new balance in all of that. So I'm seeing a lot of the divine feminine energy, and this energy is really, really coming in. So we're going to be working with that divine feminine energy. And that really, again, is when I was talking about kind of that push energy, that we're not going to get anywhere with that anymore, because that isn't the divine feminine energy. We really want to be stepping into our creator being. Your intuition, guys, is going to be on point. So we really want to start to step into our intuitive self and start to actually, ground into that. So always, the only way people are like, but I don't know, my intuition, is off. My intuition's broken. My intuition, I don't trust it. We have to start trusting our intuition. All of us have an intuition. And, I was one of these people at one point where I was like, my intuition has been broken. I didn't listen to it. I can't trust it, right? And I started listening to my intuition first with small things and started rebuilding that trust with small things that almost don't really matter. It's like you're holding a banana and an apple and you're like, which one do I need? And you just ask yourself that, which one do I need? And they say the apple. And you're like, okay. And you put the banana down and you eat the apple, right? Start small when you're rebuilding your intuition, and then you can start eventually doing it with bigger and bigger things. And the best way, again, to really know what your intuition is telling you is when we bring our energy back to ourselves and we become that witness, then we're able to hear our intuition better, right? Because we're becoming the witness of this energy that is maybe coming from our workplace, right? And you can sit with that energy, you see it, you know what it is, and then you can talk to yourself and gain insight from your inner wisdom first. And this is the most important thing, because I see this all the time, even in the spiritual community, right? Where there's so much information out there. One person's going to say you can't manifest on an eclipse. You shouldn't manifest at all during eclipse season. And somebody else is going to say you should be manifesting. This is an amazing opportunity, right? Well, ultimately, how can you decipher truth from fiction when we're in an age of information and we're getting so much information pushed at us, and we have one side saying it's good and one side saying it's bad? And this could be with anything, right? This is just an example. So then you have to take, okay, well, they're saying this and this person's saying this. What resonates with you? Who cares what everybody else is saying or whatever everybody else is doing? It's ultimately you who makes the decision as to what is resonating with you. So you can take these two pieces of information, right? Become the witness of yourself. Bring this information into your being and say, how does that make me feel? And then put it back out here. Bring this information into your being, say, how does that make me feel? Right? And then you know what is best for you. You know what is resonating with you. It doesn't make the other person wrong, because maybe somebody will say, it doesn't feel right to manifest on an eclipse, that just doesn't feel good to me. So they're not going to do it. And that's okay, right? And somebody else might say, this feels like it's just such a momentum energy, and I just feel like maybe I am supposed to manifest, right? So do it. So it really is up to you. You are the creator of your own reality. And you get to choose what reality you are living in, what timeline you are living in, what energy you are allowing into your being. So it is time for us to really, really begin to discern. And as we move through May, we have the opportunity for that full expansion to be able to happen. So I'm really seeing, as we get into the end of May, it's literally like the doors open and the lights flooding through. That's what I'm really seeing, is like these two big doors and they open and then the lights just flooding through, and it's just like overtaking everything. So we have the opportunity to be in that energy. So that's what May is going to really give to us. So we have some things that we all need to navigate through as we get into that expansion. So it's just such a beautiful time, such a beautiful energy to be working with. And you guys really need to discern what feels right to you. And that's the number one thing. So even with what I'm saying, even with this energy update, right? What are you taking away from it? What is resonating with you? What feels good to you? What empowers you? And that's what you want to take away from this energy update. If it's something that sparks fear in you and makes you feel small and unsure and unstable, right? Then maybe this specific video isn't for you, and that's okay, right? And you can say, and then you just have the right to say, it just didn't really sit right with me. I'm going to put that aside, right? And I'm going to find something that does. I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to just go play. That's what I'm hearing too, is that we have to not take things so seriously. This is a very serious time and there is so much happening right now and we're seeing so many shifts happening in our lives, but we really need to not necessarily get overwhelmed by all of that, and that we have to find the joy and the play and the curiosity in it, so we can really get curious about this time, curious about our being, and do it from a place of curiosity and play, not from a place of control and, like they're saying, forced healing, right? We can't force our healing. You are where you are right now, and it's perfect. So you don't need to be somewhere else. So you can be in the new energy and you can do exactly what it is that you want to do from exactly where you are right now. You don't have to be anywhere else. So this is really important to bring up, because I feel like a lot of the time we're like, well, and I even went through this too as I was activating and learning to channel, and also that, like, I have to be better at it and I have to have this, and maybe everybody else is doing it this way, so I have to do it that way too. And it's just not true. Your story is perfect. Exactly where you are is perfect. There's others who need exactly what you have to give them, exactly how you are right now. Right. And maybe you're going to evolve and change and be somewhere else in a month, 6 months, 2 years from now. And that's great too. But allow everybody to evolve with you. You can still share who you are and where you are at, even if it's quote unquote not perfect, or even if it's quote unquote not exactly what you think it should be, because it is exactly what it's supposed to be. So that is also another thing that you can hold on to step in that confidence, right? Where it's almost like, I've been waiting and I've been waiting and I've been holding back because I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else. Well, enough is enough. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not letting anybody else tell me what to do. I know who I am. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going to just step into it anyways. That's what May is. That's what May is. That's what we're supposed to be doing in May. So this is just such an amazing time, guys. I appreciate you all being here. Definitely, subscribe, like, put a comment. Let me know what you think of this energy update. And I am sending you all so much love. And I send out weekly energy updates in my email list, so you can get into that on my Instagram handle, which is at Rachel's Butterfly Effect. And you can get into my email list so that I can give you those weekly energy updates, so you know what to expect on a week-to-week basis as we all navigate all of this energy, and there'll be tips and mantras and stuff in there. So yeah, I'm sending you all so much love. Have such a beautiful, beautiful May, and I will be back for a June energy update. Love you all.